make a motion to call the meeting to order.
Just say, only.
I'm going to call the meeting to order.
Well done.
All right. Charlie, can you lead us in the saluting of the flag, please?
Yes. Everyone raise your hand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For those of you who may not have heard, we have had candidly, a pretty dismal start to the month of January in terms of community news. We've had two passings in town. One, Bruce Benham, who I didn't know personally, but I know a lot of people who knew him very well. He passed away suddenly and he had a kidney condition, and he passed away. Carolyn and Bill Harkelrod lost their home on Jameson Hill. They lived there for over 40 years in a tragic fire earlier this week. We don't quite know how it started, but and they're still investigating. They will most likely be putting out a GoFundMe because while everything is being investigated, they literally lost everything. They were telling me this afternoon that they both wear hearing devices and they lost the chargers, for instance. So like everything's gone, all the prescription medication, everything. They're currently living with their son in Hyde Park. For those of you that don't know, Carolyn has been working as a court clerk here for over
40 years.
Over 40 years. And they've lived in their home for 44 years. So it was a devastating loss for them. But I want to dedicate the meeting tonight to the memory of Chris Flynn. Chris Flynn passed away suddenly in his home earlier this week as well. He was a dedicated member of the community, and I put together a few words on him, and then we'll have a brief moment of silence. So the town board would like to dedicate this meeting to the memory of Chris Flynn, who passed away suddenly this past week. Chris was deeply committed to the town of Stanford and served our community with generosity and care over many years. He served as a town board member in 2011, previously served on the Zoning Board of Appeals from April 2002 through March of 2010, and later returned to public service on the planning board beginning in May of 2018, where he served through the time of his passing. Most recently, Chris also stepped forward to serve on the Zoning Commission starting in January of 2024. In addition to his formal roles, Chris was always willing to help wherever he was needed. He was a strong supporter of the rebuild of Spark Park, and whenever the town asked for his assistance, large or small, Chris stepped up without hesitation. His service was marked by kindness, generosity, and a heartfelt commitment to this community. Beyond his public service, Chris was a devoted father, a proud dog owner, and a loyal friend to many in the town. He was also the owner of Chris Flynn Plumbing and HVAC of Dutchess County, and was known for his integrity, reliability, and strong work ethic. Chris will be greatly missed, not only for the many roles he filled, but for the steady presence, compassion, and quiet leadership he brought to all that he did. His contributions have left a lasting mark on the town of Stanford. At this time, the town board respectfully dedicates this meeting in memory of Chris Flynn and asks that all in attendance join us in a moment of silence in his honor.
Roll call. Julia Dakota.
Here.
Charlie Cunningham.
Here.
Eric Haynes.
Present.
Betty Secord.
Here.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. If anyone doesn't have it, it's up here.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll get started with the town board liaison reports. Teddy, can you kick us off, please?
Yeah, so ZBA, there is no ZBA meeting this month. There have been no applications, so that's already off the docket. The CSC meeting, Climate Smart Communities, we will be meeting later this month. And the Haunted Fortress met last night, and we were really discussing theme ideas, trying to finalize that. And really some infrastructural things that are going to happen to accommodate some of those ideas. So we may give up an overall theme and go for smaller themes throughout, which has kind of always been that way, but you know. So yeah, it's a slow start, but it's going to be happening really fast. So stay tuned.
Great. Eric?
Yes, the planning board met on December 17th. There were two items of business. One was an extension of a previously conditionally approved project, Rocky Reef Farm LLC. Ernie Martin presented properties at 6909 Route 82 in Stanfordville. The applicant was seeking an additional 90 days to meet certain conditions. The planning board discussed this. They voted. A resolution was made and was adopted. So they have 90 days from November 24th, 2025 to meet the additional, the conditions that they have to meet. The second item business was a lot line alteration at 43 Holman Road in Stanfordville. It's an adjustment to revise a shared boundary between two lots owned by the same owner. This was the first time they came to the planning board. They did a motion to classify, which was approved. It does not require Secor, and there's going to be a public hearing for this on January 28th, which I'll be attending, which is the next planning board meeting. I want to give on another topic, I want to give a brief update on short-term rentals. As most of you know, the town board passed the local law last year, local law number 5, which requires permits for our short-term rentals. We're working with a firm called Granicus, which is an online system which helps towns track and keep track of short-term rentals. Currently, the town has 34 active short-term rentals. Of the 34 current short-term rentals, we have had 10 permits issued in the town, and we currently have 4 permit applications that have been filed, and they're waiting inspections. So that would leave 20 short-term rentals that currently neither have a permit nor have applied for a permit. So this week, we're going to have Granicus send out a letter on the town's behalf from the building inspector, Don Smith, letting these owners know that they're in violation of the local law and that they need to come in and apply for the permits. And we're going to keep on top of this, and we're also going to look out for any new listings, because listings could be, the inactive listings could become active at some point. So I'm expecting maybe in the spring or summer to have a lot more active listings, and then we'll have to follow up and make sure that they fill out their permit. So if you own a short-term rental, if you own a property with a short-term rental and you haven't filled out your permit and paid the fee for the 2-year permit, please come in and see Katrina and take care of that.
Thank you. And just a reminder that we, in the local law, we have upwards of 55 permits available. So right now, only 34 that Granicus has found out of 55 total available permits. So we'll be obviously monitoring the number and seeing if we need to make any changes to that, which we can do via a resolution. I just want to thank Eric for his time and energy in pursuing this. It's not easy, the process for a town to undertake to go through it, so thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
And a big thank you to Katrina, who's been doing a lot of work on it as well.
Yes, she's been great.
Yeah. Charlie is just newly named as liaison to the Zoning Commission and the Water Quality Committee, so he is off the hook this week. But I will go ahead and present the update for the Conservation Advisory Commission. The meeting was on December 17th, and a couple of subjects were discussed. First, the dog policy at town preserves. Right now, there was a lot of discussion on whether or not town preserves should allow dogs. Right now, we don't have any enforcement, any way of enforcing. So right now, dogs are not allowed at the town preserves off-leash. They are allowed, but not off-leash. There will be an initiative to educate dog owners on the importance of leashing their dogs on the town preserves. The town preserves are designed to be preserves of nature and wildlife, and dogs running around could disturb that wildlife off leash. So while we can't necessarily enforce it, the group was committed to putting together some educational materials on how the preserves are positioned in terms of, Wendy's so much better at words than I am. For lack of a better term, preserving nature. And so they want to spread awareness about responsible dog ownership in the wildlife areas, so keep an eye out for that. The other thing that was talked about was the Hudson Valley Flood Resilience Network. This was an interesting one. There was an informational meeting that Janet attended, and one of our members of our planning board is interested in actually attending this training. It's sponsored by the Land Use Leadership Alliance, which Tony should know about because he and I went to one last November. And there is one on flood resilience. In our area in particular, because of the steep slopes that we have, we are at risk. The CSC put together a couple months ago now, actually, a really good climate assessment. If you haven't read it, it is on the town website. I believe it's on the town website. If it's not, I will put it on there. But as part of that assessment, flood resiliency was an important piece of that, because as the climate is changing, there's obviously more rainfall, temperatures get hotter, which contributes to rainfall and contributes to potential flood conditions. And so Laura Viscusi is interested in attending that training, and we will be signing up as a town to become eligible. So we're not quite sure yet whether or not she'll be accepted into it, but hopefully she will. And it is a free training, and it's free to be a member of the network. And all these networks, there's lots of them around the state. They're really just meant to share information, share education, share resources. None of them are binding in any way, but they're all educational resources. There was also a little bit of a discussion on Buttercup Preserve and some of the restoration that happened in Buttercup in 2025. There is going to be in 2026 some plans with the Mosier family and Rebecca Schultz, who is, I believe, a member of the Audubon Society, to discuss restoration options for Buttercup. And then in terms of projects and priorities in 2026, that was also discussed. And one of the big initiatives is education. The CSC wants to be more of a resource for education in the town in terms of their natural resources inventory. One of the other educational resources that was discussed was water education and water quality education, so dovetails nicely with some of the potential work that the Water Quality Committee will be doing in assessing the groundwater quality, but just educating the community on what a healthy ecosystem looks like for the groundwater that we have, specifically things like the Wappingers Creek, and bringing that to the youth in the community in coordination with the rec department. So a lot of discussion on education for 2026. The rec campaign met in early December to discuss kicking off the landscaping work stream. The town received our $274,000 reimbursement from the state. And yes, so the money is in the bank. And now there is discussion on how to best utilize those funds for first phase of landscaping. So Alex Brown is going to be leading that workflow, and we already have a group of about 8 to 10 community members who are interested in spearheading that. They will be starting small with probably about 15 to 20 tree plantings, because maintenance is going to be an ongoing consideration. We don't want to plant 100 trees and not be able to maintain them and have them all potentially die or not be cared for. So they're going to start small with about 15 to 20 trees, and then installation of the shade structures that were purchased back in the fall. Hopes are that we can get something going by April or May, so they can be in the ground by the summer season. So that's exciting. The Water Quality Committee met earlier in December as well. We are waiting to hear back from the state on our grant application. That would be a 3-year funded work stream in coordination with Cornell Cooperative. There was a lot of discussion on communications and how we best communicate to the community. It was decided in the last meeting that communication outreach should start with the various committees in understanding how water quality affects their work. So outreaching to the planning board, potentially the ZBA, the Climate Smart Communities Task Force, CAC, and just getting some questions and comments from those groups in terms of how they think about water quality, so that we can better put together a communication strategy for the public. And that will probably bring us to about February-March timeframe, when we should hear back on the grant decision. And in the meantime, we have a small scope of work that we will be working with Cornell Cooperative, who will be sort of leading those information sort of sharing sessions with us. And we're piloting that to see if maybe we want to continue on with that. That is all in terms of liaison reports. Supervisor report and financials. It is a very busy week in the supervisor's office and the bookkeeper's office, because we're closing out 2025 books and opening 2026 books. Finances are in very good shape. There was a large budget amendment in December to move funds around. No other unexpected expenses have come up, so we expect to close 2025 in a very healthy way. 2026 is also starting out as expected. No surprises. There is a budget resolution on the agenda for tonight, and there will be a budget amendment most likely put on. We have it on the agenda for today, but most likely put on for next month. The budget amendment for next month will address the 2.5% increase in EMS services that we got after the budget was passed in October. For those that remember, NDP, Northern Dutchess Paramedics, was acquired by Empress, and they first came to us and asked for a 5% increase on the contracted $750,000 a year expense for EMS. We were able to negotiate that down to 2.5%, but that is an increase off of the originally budgeted $750,000. So we will be putting in a budget amendment for that. The good news is that the gift that we received from the anonymous donor has been gaining interest in our New York Class account, and we do not anticipate that we have to increase any of our revenue lines or there will not be need for any additional tax assessment or anything like that, because we have interest saved from the gift that we received from our anonymous donor. Anything else? No. I do want Anne to talk. She's not necessarily an official town board liaison, but she has stepped up and she is going to be our Veterans Affair liaison. So last year we had Beth Ann, was it Beth Ann? Beth Ann Carnera came from Dutchess County. She was incredible, speaking about all of the resources that were available to veterans across Dutchess County, and Anne has been staying very close to that subject. So Anne, if you want to give a brief update on
So I just emailed Beth Ann yesterday to see if there's anything going on for veterans. And there is Operation Mobile Outreach. And basically, you can go, there's 4 different places. One actually is tonight in Rhinebeck. But there's one in Beacon, there's 2 in Beacon, 1 in Poughkeepsie through January, where you can go and have your questions answered, learn about and register for benefits, find out about emergency funding and transportation assistance, getting help with health care, and just basically answering any questions that you might have. So I have some hard copies, and I'll send you email so you can put it on the website.
Perfect.
So, and I hope to do this every month and ask Beth Ann if there's anything I should share with you guys.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you.
Why don't you make a motion for Ann appointed as the Veterans Chair?
I'm going to make a motion to appoint you as the liaison to the veterans.
Do you feel like?
Perfect.
My husband was a Vietnam vet, he died at age 9 so I looked for something that I could do to volunteer in his honor. So
Thank
this
you.
came up, and I said, yes, let's do it.
Thank you very
So I'm
much.
honored.
We appreciate that.
And I will gladly second that motion, by the way.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Aye.
Aye.
We thank him for his service. With that, I will open privilege of the floor.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jennifer?
Yeah, I had some quick questions, just basically to educate me.
Mhm.
Where's the landscaping? Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer on Huns, not on the Lake Road. Huns Lake Road, but we're not on the Lake.
What's your last name?
Gardner, Gardiner. First name Jennifer, standard spelling. So I just didn't know where the landscaping you were talking about, where that's going to occur.
That's going to occur in the rec park.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then I had a question about Burdick Park that abuts our property. And when you were talking about dogs and leashes, I'm assuming that dogs, if people have dogs in Burdick Park, leashes will be required there as
Yes.
well? Okay.
Yes.
And then the final
Dogs
thing.
are required on all town property.
Okay,
Yeah.
good for my kids to know when they visit us.
Yes.
Leashes are.
Dogs on leashes. Dogs are required. Dogs with
Yeah.
leashes are required.
Without question, but
Yes.
yes. Leashes.
There's been a lot of discussion as part of the rec park to build a dog park, a specific dog
Oh, wow.
park, where dogs can go off leash.
Yeah.
It's still out there. It wasn't necessarily a priority for
Sure.
the town. Outside
It's a great
of-
idea.
Yeah.
If it can
So that would be a place on town property where dogs could go off leash.
And one final question, again, is just because I'm learning about all this stuff. On items number 7 and 8, you have approval of abstract 1A for current year, January 26th. Approval of abstract 1B for previous year, January 2026.
It should have been 25.
That's what I assumed.
No, I'm sorry. It is for January 26th. But we pay December bills that came in late for the previous year, and the current bills are,
Oh, okay.
we have to split them up.
I didn't understand what the difference in the
We have to
numbers
split 'em up.
meant. Yeah, why, like, looking at 1A, it's substantially higher than 1B.
I asked the same question. Do you mind if I answer?
Go ahead.
So a lot of the insurances
Yeah.
and stuff are due at the beginning of the year.
Ah,
And that's what makes the current January abstract so high.
got it.
Because when I was doing this, I said, oh, that is pretty
Yeah,
high.
I know, I was
So
like,
I asked
what?
the same question.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we noticed it when we were
And
approving.
the following, the other abstract is like the leftover December stuff.
Okay, got it. Thank you for explaining that. All right, thanks.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, breezing right through. All right, I will make a motion to close, do I make a motion to close the
No.
privilege of the, okay?
Just close it.
Thank you, Rita. All right, New business. As discussed earlier, we have a budget modification. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. We have our first resolution of 2026, budget modification for the general fund. We have a new court clerk, Charlene Cisco, and she will be needing more hours than we had originally budgeted for. Apparently, we have a lot of not so law-abiding citizens who court's very busy, and so Charlene has been a great support for the courts. And so it's a very straightforward budget modification of $12,000 of additional salary for additional hourly rate for Charlene. I'll read through the budget modification, and that will be offset by an increase in fines and forfeited bail. And so the revenue line where the courts take in the money will go up by $12,000. So Resolution 1A, budget modification of the general fund. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Stanford adopted the 2026 annual budget on October 22nd, 2025, and whereas the Town Board has determined that certain budgetary adjustments are necessary to properly reflect unanticipated expenditures and/or revenues and to ensure the continued efficient operation of town services, and whereas pursuant to New York State Town Law 106 and applicable provisions of the New York State Comptroller's regulations, the Town Board is authorized to amend the adopted budget by resolution, and whereas such budget amendments do not increase the total appropriations of the adopted budget beyond available revenues and fund balances, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Stanford hereby authorizes the following budget amendments to the 2026 budget. The line for fines and forfeited bail will increase by $12,000, and the line for court clerk services to the judge will also increase by $12,000. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do you have a question?
Did it mean to decrease?
So this is how it was told to me. I'm going to confirm it with Shelley. It's not, neither of them are decreasing, they're both going up. Yeah.
Right, because you're collecting more in revenue to pay the additional
Yeah,
salary.
yeah.
So, no.
Typically, if it's in a normal budget modification, it's one line has to go down and the
Right.
other has to go up.
Okay.
In this line, because it's a revenue that's going to go up, they're going to both go up.
We hope.
So that's why the total increase is only 12,000?
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
cool.
And actually, it's actually like, it's not, the budget's not going up at all, it's really just a wash.
Equaling out.
Yeah.
I have to do a roll call. Julie Dakota,
Yes.
Charlie Cunningham,
Aye.
Eric Ames,
Yes.
Betty Secor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We still have a vacant position on the Zoning Board of Appeals. That was vacated by Kathy Zier. So that is still open. Anyone who's interested in applying for that can apply to Rita Mary. As Teddy mentioned, they are not meeting this month, so
Yep, no meeting.
we have a little bit of leeway, but we do need to fill that position. With Chris Flynn's unfortunate and unexpected passing, we do have a vacant position on the zoning commission. Yeah, I know. We dedicated the meeting in his honor for those that came late, yeah, it's horrible. Horrible news. We do have two vacant positions on the planning board. We've received, I think, one letter of interest, which the planning board will review, but we have a second vacant position on the planning board. So those three positions are open. We will be doing interviews for the
Four positions. Two vacant planning board.
two vacant planning board, four total vacant positions,
Right.
yes. We'll be doing the interviews for the vacant town board position after this meeting. And we anticipate filling that by the end of executive session tonight. As discussed, we're not going to do the resolution 1B on the budget amendment for the ambulance service just yet, but we will now move to the acceptance of the minutes for December 11th, 2025.
Oh, yeah, it's a typo.
little typo.
And I told Rita Mary my noticings, Venice View Hall, and you were Wendy, and I was
Was that
Nate.
for the, was that for the reorg meeting or for
Mhm.
this one? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the reorg. This one is gonna be a problem because only 2 of the members now were at that meeting.
Right.
So you can't really approve them, but you could accept them.
Okay.
Yeah,
So usually we do approval minutes, but
that's
now
right.
it's gotta be acceptance of minutes.
Okay,
Mm.
so I make a motion to accept the minutes from, well, Nathan's here? Just,
He's on the board.
can't do
He's
it.
on the
Okay.
board now.
All right. So we make I'll make a motion to
I don't
accept.
think we can even do a motion in a second, because then you have to have a vote, and there's not gonna be a vote. There won't be a
Right.
quorum.
You're on a quorum, you only
So
have 2.
we'll just accept the minutes?
We're good with that.
All right.
We're good with the minutes.
It's an odd thing to have happen, but it did.
Yeah.
And it's too early for the 29th and the 1st.
Okay, so we'll do those in February?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll have 3 sets of minutes to do.
Yes, you can.
Rita's been busy. All right. We have 2 abstracts to approve, as discussed briefly. One for the current year, January 2026, which are payments for things like insurance, dues. So these are hefty ones. For the general fund, $86,323.21. For the highway fund, $31,788.32. And for ambulance, $4,062.50. Is this right? I don't think it's $4,062.50.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
So low.
It is low.
It's usually like 62,000.
Oh, no, the ambulance. Yes, that is incorrect. It should be, hold on.
It's always the same.
These numbers are very tiny. 64.
Right.
Oh, 62.50.
Okay.
Yep. Missing a 6.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
64. I didn't either.
And that's reflecting the new cost for
I
2020.
questioned that one too. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the new one.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause it was 62.5.
Yep.
Yes. And then just so folks know, I will be the new liaison with the fire commissioners. There's a lot of discussion on EMS services. Governor Hochul just passed a bill that Dutchess County has adopted where counties have to put together a EMS ambulance, basically a countywide plan. So this is effectively forcing the hand of each of the counties to wrap their arms around EMS and take the burden off of local municipalities. It is not going to fix the short term, but it will hopefully fix some of our ongoing longer term concerns about the really high expense of ambulance services. For those that don't know, our ambulance service went up from $750,000 to over $768,000 for the year. It's significant. I'm also in discussions, and I'll be meeting with Chris Drago, probably not next week, but the week after, just to talk about some of the best practices from some of the other towns. They have had some success in either doing townwide. Several towns have joined together to contract for lower prices. You know, the overall cost is higher than our 750, but it's lower per town for basically a tri-town or a dual-town initiative, or putting together some form of cost savings where we can do basic life support. Right now, we do basic life support with Empress, but it is extremely high. Potentially doing something with our fire company, where we have Stanford doing that basic life support. It's not, we haven't even vetted it yet. I wouldn't put it in any sort of Pine Plains Herald, Patrick. But there's just a lot of discussion on like what are our options. So Wendy's been extremely transparent about this in the past, and I want to be really transparent about it as well. Nothing is changing from what we have with our current contract with Empress. But if the costs continue to increase, and we don't really have a countywide solution, We really want to try to get our arms around something that might be a little bit more tenable for us in the long term, so we're just exploring a lot of options. Okay, approval of abstract 1B.
We need to vote on them separately, Rita?
You can do them together.
Okay. Approval of abstract 1B for previous year, January 26. General fund, $22,229.44. Highway fund, $4,207.68. And the escrow fund, $3,871.24. Make a motion to approve those abstracts?
I'll second it with the correction to the ambulance district one.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any other business? Okay. We're going to go into executive session to interview the town board candidates. Do we want to have a privilege of the floor?
It's up to you.
Okay. Just because that will probably take about 30 to 45 minutes, and I don't think anyone wants to sit around. We'll open up privilege of the floor again. Patrick?
Can I just ask, how many candidates are there, and when will the town announce who was, chosen?
We have 3 candidates, and we hope to make a decision by the end of the night. So the lucky contender will be joining us in February. Any other?
Have to be sworn in.
But will we be making an announcement before then, is what he was asking?
Oh, we'll put in the newsletter? Yeah.
If you're going to decide tonight, you'll come out of executive session and you'll have to make a motion to appoint that person.
Okay. And then,
That'll be on the record.
That's right.
But
Okay.
Rita comes back for that, right? Yeah.
yes.
Rita comes back in to do that.
Is that then open to the public? Sorry,
Mhm.
I'm speaking.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can stick
Yes.
around if you'd like.
You'll just be hanging out for a little while, isn't it?
Go get a slice of pizza at Val's and come on back, or a margarita down the hill, climb up. And then I could put that in the newsletter, right?
Yeah, that's the whole votes on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry about that. I am having a random issue. I hope that everyone's getting the newsletter. Okay, because I did send it
Thumbs
out.
up. That's a thumbs up.
Because I did send it out last week, and I noticed that there wasn't a huge open rate to it, so I think a lot of people who didn't get it because of a weird domain name server, like I'm a new name that's sending it out, and MailChimp might not know who it is, so MailChimp, I think it might have gone into a couple of spam
MailChimp.
folders. Did you not get it?
I got a phishing, warning.
What are you looking?
I know, I'm so suspect.
Yeah, mine goes in the spam or junk file. That was good.
Yeah, I gotta call PCA and,
But Wendy's did too.
Wendy's didn't for me.
No, never did for me.
Me neither.
all right, well, I'll get it resolved, and hopefully, I am sending out the newsletter. My aim is to send it out once a week, so including community information like this, as well as any relevant updates on town board activities. All right? So for those of you who are not one of the 3 lucky candidates, if you can excuse us for executive session, I'll make a motion to
Close the regular meeting.
close the regular meeting.
A second.
Thank you. And I'll make a motion,
Actually, it'll all be one. Yep.
and I'll make okay, so Charlie was that too.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, see you guys in a bit.
Yeah.
Crazy story of the Guyana flag and the Russian flag. And, anyway, all right, I make a motion to end executive session and
Regular meeting.
go back into the regular meeting.
I'll second that
Thank you,
motion.
Teddy.
All in favor?
Aye.
First, I want to say thank you to each of you for your service and for your interest in the position. This was not an easy position for us. I hate being in this position, to be very honest, because you each have contributed significantly to the community and to historically in your roles. We took this decision based on historic contributions to the community and impact that we feel this person can make. We decided, how do I say this? What do I say?
Make a motion.
We make a.
Yes, make a motion.
Appoint.
We're going to make a motion to appoint Nathan to the one-year term.
Second?
second.
Thank you.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Congratulations.
And now I'm going to start to cry because I hate these sort of things. We want each and every one of you, I mean, obviously to stay involved and to be involved, seriously, please. Your contributions to the community mean so much. My son's here because my husband's going to hockey. So he's going to enter. And yes, it's a one-year appointment. We obviously have some open town board seats coming up, and we hope that you continue to contribute to the community. So, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Maybe you want to mention all the planning board vacancies?
Yes,
Yes.
we did.
Zoning board
We did.
vacancy?
Yes.
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 Need a motion to,
I will make a
Adjourn.
motion to adjourn the meeting.
second.
Second it. Oh.
All in favor, I assume.
Aye.